Hey guys, this is going to be a book review for Volk and Fuhrer by Erwin Bartmann. It's his memoirs of his time in the Leibstandarte at SS Adolf Hitler. Brought up in Berlin, and he was a member of the Hitler Youth. His brother joined the Luftwaffe field division, and when he seen these guys in the Leibstandarte parading in their black uniforms and they were elite, he dreamt of one day joining them. He was a member of the 4th Company, Leibstandarte, and saw action in Russia, Italy. His story, he was wounded at Prokhorovka, where he took a piece of shrapnel to the lung, and he was very lucky that it wasn't fatal. So he was injured for a long time. Rehabilitated back in Germany, and it was one of those books I just couldn't put down. My missus was in hospital again last week, so I had to name myself, so there wasn't much opportunity to sit at the bench and get things done. So I read my book. This cost me £10. It was on the Play Store, which was ideal. Just didn't have to wait for it, and I read it in about 5 days. There's 249 pages in it, and it goes into, the camaraderie and the Leibstandarte and stuff like that. And he, in his own words at the beginning, he said, like, this is my recollections of events that happened during that time. He indicates that at his age there would be no point in lying, so this is as true as they can. There's a lot of things covered in it. The belief in the ideal, and what they were fighting for during the war, the later part of the war, the doubt that crept into the mind, but bound by their oath to Adolf Hitler, which every member of the armed forces had to take. That is why they fought. Also the delusions about that the Allies might have joined up with their former Nazi enemies and pushed the Russians back, which was a dream held by many of the German armed forces as late 44, early 45. Also goes into the training at the Lichterfeld barracks in Berlin, where the Leibstandarte were trained. The parade in France, where they were paraded after being turned into a panzer division. He settled in Edinburgh after his capture. They managed to get to the west and surrender to the Americans. The interesting part for me was that this young man, he was very young when he was in the Leibstandarte. I think he was 22 when the war ended, and he'd been in it since 41, so 17, 18. And what I couldn't get over was that before this man had lost his virginity, he had fought and killed people on the front lines, which for me was quite quite an interesting idea. Goes into, you know, some of the techniques of the infantry and the lifestand data, where, you know, a lot of model companies, Tamiya, Dragon as well, the lifestand data figures at Kursk, where the machine gunner props his machine gun on the shoulder of his comrade. He goes into detail and says that, you know, there was a young recruit and it was a Russian sewing machine that was flying overhead, and as he was about to fire, obviously with the plane getting nearer and into range, the man who had the machine gun on his shoulder lost his nerve and moved, and when the gunner depressed the trigger, it took half his head off. So they changed the way they did it, that the man who had the machine gun on his shoulder would now face the gunner so that he wouldn't lose his nerve. Also goes into detail about the atrocities that the Russians perpetrated in their way into Germany, and what happened to SS soldiers if they were caught by the Russians, and there's a lot of gruesome stuff. I think that's one of the tragedies about World War II, is the fact that the victors do write the history, and apart from the rape, the mass rape of women in Berlin when the Russians took over, you don't really hear about their atrocities. You only hear about the German side's atrocities, and you don't really hear about the Allied atrocities either. Which, after reading Blood Red Snow and now this book, it's given me an insight into, you know, there's two sides to every story. Now, I'm not advocating atrocities from either side, but I think a lot of it is put on to the Germans for the blame. Now, Stalin was, you know, he murdered millions of his own people, but he's hailed as a hero, and, you know, there's other people out there who've committed atrocities as well, and they got away with it. Which is, you know, crazy to think that people were in a position of power to be able to do that type of thing. But it's a really interesting read. Goes right deep into his thoughts and the things that happened during the war, and the I guess the situation in Germany as the later war years came, when doubt started to creep in and the realisation that they weren't going to be winning the war. So if you ever have a chance to read it, guys, I would highly recommend it. It's certainly a good read. I don't really know much else to say on it, really. Apart from go and read it yourselves and see what you think. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think you will too. If you're into books that, you know, it's more about the soldiers' stories, I think you'll really enjoy this one. Blood Red Snow, which I've reviewed as well, is another one that's perfect for that. You know, I couldn't put that book down either. I'm now reading Soldat. It's by Siegfried Knapper, by Ted Bernau. I can't remember his name, but it's the memoirs of Siegfried Knapper, and it begins in Berlin. He was an orderly for General Weidling, who was ordered to be executed, and then Hitler changed his mind and gave him command of the defence of Berlin. and at the time he said he'd rather have been shot. So I think it shows just how perilous the situation was. But that's for Volk and Fuhrer. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.